Hello everyone, this is Father the Everchosen, back in Total War Warhammer 2, bringing you what will likely be the last Tomb Kings quick battle. This is obviously a replay, and just like all the others, we're going to go through, we'll analyze my opponent's army, and then we'll come back and look at mine. So, my opponent is obviously the Dark Elves. My opponent has brought 2 Dread Spears, a unit of Black Ark Corsairs, a unit of Bleak Swords, 2 Black Guard of Nagarond, 2 Cold One Knights, 2 Scourge Runner Chariots, a unit of Dark Riders with repeater crossbows, and Malekith up on Seraphon. For my army, I went with my pretty standard build. If you've watched any of my other Tomb Kings videos, you will recognize this build. I've got 3 Ushabti with great bows, one of which being Chosen of the Gods, 2 regular Tomb Guard, 2 Skeleton Warriors, King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, 2 Ushabti, a Necrotech, a Tomb Prince, and Grand Hierophant Khatep on his Casket of Souls. So I'm going to be shifting my army's position to kind of protect my right flank using this natural natural formation. So let's hop in here. So we see Khatep here with his retinue, and at first I'm going to get these Ushabti into a position where they can start firing. You'll see I'll set up right here on this hill, leaving this a little more open probably than I should, but I really want to get Khatep firing and the Ushabti getting the most bang for their buck early doors. My opponent is circling around this Dark Rider with crossbows, and I've decided to put both my Ushabti on this left flank, seeing as now I fully move my army over. I give Chosen of the Gods Petra's Incantation of Righteous Smiting, and I believe my opponent, I don't actually know what happened here. They just kind of started losing health. I didn't see a spell get cast on them. I wasn't actually firing on them, but this Scourge Runner ends up just getting murdered for, I have no idea, I don't actually know how it happened. I retreat my Ushabti behind my lines. These Black Ark Corsairs have been heavily damaged, and at this point I decide to start targeting Malekith. Hit him with the Blade of Khatep, so he's going to be taking even more damage. For some reason, my opponent uses his breath on the simple Skeleton Warrior when he could have hit these Tomb Guard or gone a little bit farther and hit King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion. Excuse me again. My opponent does drop in here and starts taking on Khatep. So now that they're engaged, I kind of try to swamp Malekith. Malekith does get back up in the air, and even though I'm targeting with all these units, he's quite resilient to the damage that I'm putting out. I mean, he does get about to half. He uses his Gaze of Malice here, hitting King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, but doesn't actually do as much damage as I think he hoped to. Still only lost about 10 models. My Tomb Guard here get a little out of position chasing down these Dread Spears, and I start trying to get rid of these Dark Riders with repeater crossbows and prevent Khatep from taking too much damage by putting down the Sandstorm and the Tomb Prince and the Necrotech. Now, King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion is quite hurt. But that's after a use of Gaze of Malice and one of his breath weapons. Again, Malekith comes down using, what's that, Doom Bolt. Yeah, Doom Bolt on Khatep. At this point, my opponent is losing, but he definitely has more troops than I. I have a summon to drop in here somewhere. And at this point, these Tomb Guard are going to be fine. These Ushabti are, they're struggling, but they're being helped out by the Chosen of the Gods. And everywhere else, we're doing pretty good. We've finally gotten Malekith down. That Blade of Khatep dropping his armor by 30 and his physical resistance by 22%. He takes just a load of damage from all of these different units, but especially being shot by the Ushabti with great bows. We've got the Cold One Knights rampaging. Khatep's still in here, doing pretty good. Those Tomb Guard that got out of position did end up getting wiped out. I've got my summoned Ushabti in here, trying to take on the Blackguard. And really at this point, it's just a matter of mopping up these Blackguard Corsairs and then moving everybody into position. Malekith does drop with the help of these Ushabti with great bows. I end up hitting another Sandstorm over here, doing roughly like 150 damage to these Blackguard. But it does get their leadership low enough where they're going to rout off. Khatep over here is doing his best to fight these Cold One Knights, but he is not a melee lord by any means. He continuously casting these spells, hit Patral's Incantation of Righteous Smiting, and Khatep's at 98 kills, which isn't too bad. I've still got my Necrotech, and my Tomb Prince is very healthy. So, I am going to lose Khatep, but before that, he does get this shot off, which ends up routing these Blackguard yet again, which is pretty good. It keeps them, even if they are to come back, they've got to come all the way back here. And at this point, I've got one Tomb Guard, a Necrotech, and a Tomb Prince against, what is that? 22, about 20 Blackguard Nagaron, 12 Cold One Knights, another 6 these Dark Riders with repeater crossbows, and this Scourge Runner Chariot. And obviously I've got the Blade of Khatep and Tomb Strike, and that Tomb Strike causing fear. None of these units, as far as I know, are immune to psychology. So them getting in here, when I can activate that Tomb Strike, will rout off many of them. The Scourge Runner's doing pretty good, but I hit it with the Blade of Khatep, dropping its armor to 50 and its physical resistance into the negative. So at this point, I really just try to keep everybody grouped together. I form up these Tomb Guard so that they are braced for a charge, and I've got Cold One Riders, or Cold One Knights, that I thought might have come back, but then they end up shattering. They cycle these Dark Riders, I think, to the back and try to get a nice rear charge, but I've got this Tomb Prince here to intercept so that nobody's taking just a huge run to the charge. And even still, good binding, or strong binding for this Tomb Prince. I do end up having these Tomb Guard get very low, and they are crumbling. But this Tomb Prince at this point, and even the Necrotech, especially if you put him with the special item that he has, can be very good in melee, but even without it, he's a very good unit. Trigger Tomb Strike again, all their leadership was very low, and everything just routes off. The Scourge Runner Chariot was the only thing that still had any leadership, but after seeing everything around it, it suffers from the mass routing penalties. And I walk away with a very Pyrrhic victory with a handful of Tomb Guard, a Necrotech, and a Tomb Prince left in the end. But if we look at this, you know, I lost about 100 more than my opponent, and I deployed less than him in the beginning. But he lost Malekith early doors, and he didn't have a large enough number of troops left. This Scourge Runner, I do really wonder what happened to it. I may even jump back in just to look and see if maybe Malekith had cast something on it. But this one Scourge Runner just kind of like deleted itself. But 98 kills, not bad for Khatep. Wish I could have kept him around a little longer. 12 kills on this Tomb Prince doesn't really matter in the end when he was consistently terror routing things off and just staying alive. 106 on these Tomb Guard, a good showing. And these Ushabti with Great Bow, even though they got only 3 and 11 kills, I had put 2 chevrons on them, but they ended up gaining each a chevron because they were what took down Malekith. And everything else, you know, the Skeleton Warriors, they were just designed to hold. King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, I wish they would have done a little better, but they did eat up a Gaze of Malice and a Dragon Breath. So I think that probably, you know, paid for them. So we're going to continue. And actually, nope, not this. This is a different replay. I am going to hop into that real quick, and we will see what ended up killing that Scourge Runner. All right. Yep, I lost that battle. All right. Watch replay. So, in other news, the amount of videos will hopefully stay right around 5 to 6 a week in the coming weeks, because I am going to be returning to work at my essential status job. Okay. Now pause. All right. Other arrows coming at them. Let's watch. I have no idea. It says they're taking fire. No. They were. So my Ushabti must have just singled them out right away. And I hadn't noticed. But I guess if you want to deal with Scourge Runner Chariots, put some Ushabti with Great Bows and just have them target, because these guys got deleted in like 2 volleys. So, all right. Even when I was playing, I was looking almost as close, and I didn't see any of the arrows coming in, but there's one right there you can see. And they just got deleted so fast I didn't know if he had cast a, what is it? Soul Stealer? Yeah, Soul Stealer. I didn't know if he had cast anything like that on his own unit. I don't know why he would have done that early doors. And my opponent actually doesn't use a whole lot of magic. He does use that Gaze and Malice, but again, there was only 3 of them, and there was only 3 Noxious Breath. So he uses a third of each on King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, which isn't an insignificant amount. And replay. So hopefully you guys will still be getting videos on Tuesday and Friday. Those are my pretty standard release dates. But beyond that, any other additional videos that you get will be me trying my hardest to continue to have some content for you guys, but it definitely will slow down. I typically record videos at night, and my essential status job requires me to work at night. And unless something changes with COVID-19, I will, for the foreseeable future, be working. If it gets worse and they change things at my place of employment, I may be back on a leave. And if, other things change, then I could also be back doing this on a more full-time basis. But hopefully you guys will all stick around and continue to enjoy the content that I put out. Like I said in one of my previous episodes, I will be playing either High Elves or Greenskins or both for quick battles once the Warden and the Paunch drops. And then I will be playing an Eltharion the Grim campaign, and that should be coming out on Fridays, either in conjunction or to replace the Von Karstein campaign, which after the last episode is looking pretty good. We should have a video coming out tomorrow on that, and then another one again on Tuesday. And if they're of a similar length, I know the last one was 2 hours and 10 minutes. If I could do another 3 2 hours and 10 minutes, that as long as I continue to win, that should probably be just about enough to mop everything up before the Warden and the Paunch comes out. But I am enjoying that campaign. I hope you guys are as well, and I hope that the content that I put out for the Warden and the Paunch will be just as enjoyable as some of the bigger YouTubers. Obviously I don't get early access because I'm new to this, but with your guys' help, maybe by the time Game 3 rolls around, I could also be seeing early access and provide you guys some decent content. Next week, I believe that for quick battles, I will probably just kind of Rolodex through some of them. I may go back and play through the Dwarves, the Empire, and the Vampire counts, just to see, how it is. And then maybe towards the end of that week, I will put out some High Elves and Greenskins ones. Obviously, I know I had said that I was going to play 4 factions for the first year on YouTube, but with the Greenskins and the High Elves coming out, that's what people are going to want to see, and honestly, that's what I want to play. I know it's, less than $10, but I put the money down. Might as well get the most bang for my buck. And there are a lot of new mechanics for a lot of the people. Obviously, Techless now has new mount. And some of his items have been reworked. And then I've got 2 new lords to try as the High Elves in Imric and in Eltharion. And getting to try out Grom and putting a Goblin Great Shaman on his Catch Web Spider Shrine mount, the big Ragnarok mount. There's enough new to really warrant looking through them both. And I hope you guys will join me in watching the content at that point. But if you enjoyed the video I put out today, and if you have anything that you would like to add to the conversation, the comment section below, leave a like, and if you enjoy the content that I put out on the channel, please consider subscribing. Thank you all, and as always, I have been Father of the Everchosen.